Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get two select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
If you love entertainment, current events, and Hollywood, don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators. Today we have a special guest,
Michelle Areaux.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so okay, this is so cool. I've literally been talking to authors all this week, so it's kind of interesting. I've like been on an author's kick. I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
I'm super excited. I love going back a little bit, just a little bit from the beginning. Like, kind of how did you get started into like what made you want to be an author? Start there.
So, gosh, I get that question a lot, and it's so hard to answer. I've been writing basically all my life. When I was a kid, I wrote little stories, and my mom would keep them. And I just decided one day I just wanted to try it. And so when I was in college, I drafted a book and I set it aside and thought it would never be touched again. And about 10 years later, I finally got the courage to publish it. And then
Amazing.
it's been just nonstop since then.
Wow, amazing. I love that. So and you're working on you have this amazing event happening
Yes.
that like literally coming up next month, right?
Uh-huh.
Tell us a little bit about the event, and it's involving like 50 plus authors. That's absolutely bonkers to think about, but like how did that come together? What was the inspiration behind that? Like I'm
So
curious.
I've been, as since I became an author, I started attending a lot of large author signing events. And over the years, I just thought, I could probably host one of these as well. And I started planning and organizing. And so for about 9 years now, I've been hosting and organizing different author signing events all across the country.
Wow.
The one coming up next month is in Phoenix, Arizona. It's called Books in the Desert, and this is going to be our third year. And I'm so excited. We had a huge reader fan base that showed up. The authors are absolutely incredible. Most are returning. We have a lot of new faces as well for people to come and meet. And what I love most about this event and other events like this is that you don't have to be a New York Times bestselling author. You could be an indie author starting with your very first book,
Love
all the
that.
way up to a New York Times bestselling author. So
Wow.
we don't kind of separate everybody. We want to, it's a small community as it is in the author world. So we want to keep everybody together and be able to network.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love that there's like no separation, because I feel like I feel like it's all kind of sometimes intimidating to like, especially, you just wrote a novel and you're like, oh my God, where do I go to like connect with people, other authors? So this is actually really cool that you have this event happening, and this is your third year. How does one like, I don't know, like how does one get into this? Like started like who did you talk to someone, or did you just kind of start it yourself and then just talk to different authors and like, look, we're gonna meet here?
I started by, like I said, I was attending several, and I thought I could probably handle this. And then I worked with one of my book publishers once, and we kind of co-teamed it. And then since then, I've just kind of been doing it on my own.
Nice.
I absolutely love it. I meet incredible authors, some that I fangirl over embarrassingly. I get to network with some really cool readers, and it's just something I just kind of, started out small, and now I've grown to now I host at least 5 events a year.
Wow.
And it's just something I absolutely love. And it's very time consuming, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I can only imagine how like, whoa, like so that, I mean that means that you're great at executing these events. That's awesome. So curious with is there a certain genre of like as far as like as an author do you like stick to, or do you like to talk like write about a lot of different things?
I kind of hit all the genres, I feel like. I'm a young adult author,
Nice.
but I also tap into the newer adult, a little bit older, but I keep it clean. I really like the fantasy, paranormal, Twilight inspired kind of books.
Ah, nice,
But
nice.
I'm a reader of everything. I mean, if it sounds appealing, I'm gonna pick it up and read it. And so at these events, especially the one in Phoenix, we have everything from, children's book authors to young
Um,
adult to nonfiction, romance. It's the whole gamut. It's one of those things where you can bring your family and friends to, and everybody's gonna find something that they love.
I love that. So is it like you having like your like does every author have there are they bringing their books and they have like
Mhm.
their venues as well and they're selling? Oh, that's so cool. It's like a
Yeah, they
Comic
each have
Con.
their own table. Yeah, and so, like, you can, like, walk around and, you go down each aisle and you can stop and check
Nice.
out their books and talk to them. And it's great for aspiring authors as well because there's so many authors that are willing to share their experiences and their stories and their advice, and even though I've been published for about 11 years now,
Wow.
there's still something I learn new at every single event. So it's
That's so
incredible.
cool. So first of all, I love Arizona. I was just telling my friend that Arizona is probably one of my if I just had to live somewhere, I definitely would move. It's just so beautiful there. Like gorgeous.
Yes, and it's not cold.
Exactly. Exactly. Perfect weather. I mean, it's definitely hot, but like, we
Mhm.
can deal with some heat.
Oh, yeah.
Um that's so cool. So there's authors coming around from around the world coming to Arizona. So cool. That is so interesting. Is it gonna be filmed and is it event free or
So, we have one author actually coming all the way from London, and she is
oh
gonna let her kids go trick or treating, and I'm like really pumped about how that's gonna go.
that's
Um, we have it's gonna be filmed a little bit. Some of the authors, their PAs are going to be covering it, on Facebook Live and things like that. General admission is free, so
wow,
anybody can come at noon and stay till 4 and
nice.
check out everything that's going on. We still have a few of the VIP tickets available. They get a swag bag filled with a free either ebook or paperback. They get to get in at 11 a.m. It's a little bit early. Um, but we have tickets available. If people want to show up, just come on in. And it's at the Phoenix Drury Inn Plaza. And
Okay.
so it's a beautiful location, very unique hotel, and it's gonna be a fun day.
I love it. I love it. That's so cool. I want to ask you about some of like
Mhm.
your life a little bit. I'm
Okay.
so interested. So where are you from originally?
So I live in Kentucky. I live in
Wow.
Lexington, Kentucky. So I
Nice.
really branch out for these events.
I love it. No, this is great. I mean, I love it. I love it. Um, Kentucky. I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I don't think I've ever been there, but I hear it's really great. Like,
It's pretty.
like, is there a lot of writers in Kentucky?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of local writers, even in I live right outside of Lexington. So even in my small Nicholasville town,
Nice,
there's several authors. And I host a book signing event in Lexington.
nice.
And I just love meeting authors from, where I'm at, and then also seeing authors come from other countries to check out where we are.
That's
And
cool.
it's really cool. It's just a fun way to network with others who are doing the same thing that you're doing.
I love that. That was my question too, because like I'm from Florida originally, so
Mhm.
growing up, like there wasn't really film growing up there, and I felt like I was like I got to go to Los Angeles, the big hub.
Mhm.
And then after COVID, my thoughts changed of like, you have to be in like the happening town in order to thrive. And I don't think that's actually true. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you prove yourself, you could just branch out and take what you're doing anywhere essentially. And don't really have to live in Los Angeles, the big city to get like, because a lot of my friends who are creatives, they're like it's so expensive in New York and just to maintain the lifestyle and to they can't actually
Mhm.
buy a house or you know because it's so expensive. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I hate to say it like this, but one of the good things that came from COVID is the ability to do like what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
meet and talk with somebody, from across the country. And you get to learn a little bit about everything. And if you want to talk to somebody in the film or the publishing industry, there's so many different ways to connect with people now that it makes it a lot easier. And you don't have to be in LA or New York City in order to make your dreams come true anymore.
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing. How do you feel about AI as a author, as a writer? Everyone's talking about it. I mean, even actors are still scared out of their mind, and I totally understand why. Um, do you feel like it's a step forward or a step backwards, or we just have to embrace it?
So this is such a huge like beast of a conversation right
Yeah.
now in the author world. It's so funny saying the author world, but like on Facebook, there's almost like these witch hunts trying to go after certain authors who are using AI and what they're using it for. And I was actually just
Mm.
on a panel here recently with a couple of authors and a literary agent, and
Hmm.
that question came up to us. For me, I go back and forth because as a writer, how much time goes into writing my books. I don't agree with using AI to write your stories because
I agree.
it's the reason why we write is to be creative and to put ourselves in the books. And I feel like if you just throw it into a program, everybody's going to come out with the same thing.
Yep.
And in terms of, especially with like graphic artists and things like that, I don't want to take away jobs from people, who truly, have a skill that I don't have. I can't design my own book covers. I have to reach out to people who are creative and can do that.
Right.
And I wouldn't feel right using AI for that because I feel like I'm taking something away from a real person.
Yes.
But with advertising, I don't know. I haven't really leaped into it yet. I usually, outsource to other advertising companies to advertise for my books. But I'm sure they're using AI in some way, shape, or form. You see it in commercials, you see it
Oh my
all
gosh.
over social media. In terms of marketing, I don't think it's necessarily a negative avenue if it's a person creating it and pushing it forward.
Right.
But I don't want to take the people out of the job market, if that makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. 100. I mean, there was a really funny episode on, well, it's kind of scary, but I find it funny too. Black Mirror, the new season 8. I think it was
Mhm.
called something, Someone Hates Jane or Everyone Hates Jane. And it's literally like she's watches like this episode of a Netflix episode of like, but it's literally her life mimicking
Mhm.
like back to her. And then the next day, the show it has already episode of the same thing that just happened to her. And she's like, how is this possible? And they're like, oh, AI, we can essentially you sign your face off somewhere and
Yeah.
they can have it in a system like, which I understand the production cost, it cuts down the production cost. I get it. But then it's like we are cutting into the creative part. It's like
Mhm.
we're not really getting what we love going to the cinema for, you know? So,
Exactly.
yeah, there's definitely some cons.
There's a lot of cons, and it's such a touchy subject with people, and I just haven't really been comfortable enough to tap into it yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No, even your voice nowadays, like, they have AI that essentially voiceover actors,
Mhm.
y they can literally take your like, a snippet of your voice, and you can type it you can use it, and then it'll literally sound just like you, and you're like, "How?" Like, how
That's so scary. That's not something, oh my gosh, that makes me think of, like, a whole, like, dystopian, like, world, which just scares me a lot.
Oh man, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next couple years, but it's and again, it's like I don't know, it's not going to go away,
No,
unfortunately.
it's definitely here to stay. It's just, I think, how we choose to approach it.
Yeah, how do we choose to approach it? Exactly. Uh yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Do you have any favorite authors that you like enjoy, or if you could sit down with one of your favorite authors just for a cup of coffee and pick their brain? Same, it could be living or dead. Up to you.
I've got 3, and
Ooh,
they're all so far from each other, it's
I
funny.
love that.
S.E. Hinton is one,
Okay.
I'm also a teacher. So on top of being a writer and event organizer, I'm also an educator.
I love it.
And that is one of the books. We just finished it up with my students. It's one of the books that kids who absolutely hate reading will fall in love with, and they want to read more and they'll read ahead. And my kids dressed up as the characters for our Outsiders Day. And so I would just love to sit down with her and just talk to her just
Yeah.
about, the experience she had living in Tulsa, and
Mm,
how these amazing characters came to be. That's just something I would just love to do.
love that.
Another one is obvious for me is Stephanie Meyer.
Hey.
Um, I'm obsessed with Twilight. I've been to Forks twice. I would just love to just talk to her and be like, how did you dream up Edward? Because if I could create a character like Edward Cullen and create this world like she has, like, I feel like my life would be complete. And then the last one is Elle Kennedy, because I'm obsessed with her hockey romance and just all of her romance books. And she just writes such fun, quirky characters. I just would love to pick her brain.
Love that. These are great. These are all so great. What advice would you give to up and coming writers or anyone that wants to, I don't know, give it a go?
I always say just do it. Just jump right into it and start writing, and piece it together as you go, but just do it. Just sit down and write what you feel like is coming out of you, that creative moment. And then talk to others in the industry. Going to these book signing events, like, we have so many aspiring writers who haven't been brave enough yet to just start putting pen to paper. And
Love it.
I feel like if they go to these events and they talk to authors who are really doing it, it gives them that confidence that they can go and do it themselves too.
Absolutely. 100. Just do it. I love that. Absolutely. Right. And do you feel like it's the fear is what stops people from moving forward in
Yeah,
any?
yeah, for me, I wrote a book and I let it sit in, basically on my computer and in a drawer for 10 years,
Wow.
before I even felt brave enough to send it out, because I thought, oh, nobody will want to read it. What
Oh,
happens if
wow.
nobody likes it? And I feel like that's what stops so many people from doing it. But what's the worst that could happen? They tell you no. I mean, you're right. We're back where you came from, so it's not like you're out anything. So
Right.
you just got to try it.
I love that. Absolutely. 100%. What great advice. Also, once again, when is this event, and where can people go to like sign up and be involved?
So if you want to come to attend the Books in the Desert Phoenix Book Bash on 11 to 24, so November 2nd, it's coming up here soon. You can go to our Facebook group, which is Books in the Desert. You can go to the Eventbrite page, and it pulls up as Books in the Desert. It's free to attend. It's at the Drury Plaza Hotel in Phoenix. And we would love to have you guys show up. Just come in, meet us, talk to us, ask us questions, whatever you want. But we absolutely love having readers and aspiring authors and even established authors to come and show up. And it's going to be a really fun day.
Awesome. Awesome. And where can people find you on social media to follow everything you have going on?
So they can follow me on Facebook. Again, it's under Michelle Areaux, Instagram under Michelle Areaux, and TikTok under Michelle Areaux.
Are you on TikTok doing the dances?
Oh, no, no, no.
I'm
My
just
students
kidding.
would find those, and that would be the end of everything. So I usually post funny pictures of my dogs and the books. That's kind of where I go from
I
there.
love it. I love it. Yeah, I tried to do the TikTok thing. I was like, yeah, no, I can't do
I'm
it.
not cool enough for it.
Yeah, same, same. Thank you so much for coming on, and it was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you and talking all about
Yes. Thank you
books.
so much. I love this show. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.